Oftentimes we do things that have an expected outcome, but we don't stop and ask ourselves, why did these things happen? When looking at rocks, most people know that they look a lot more bright and vibrant when they get wet. So have you ever wondered why that happens? Today we're going to talk a little bit about that in this video. And if you end up liking this video, make sure you leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to comment and say what's up. I'd love to get to know who you are. This is a new channel for me, and I really appreciate the support that I've gotten on my first 2 videos. So let's jump right into it. So the first rock we're gonna look at is this black and white prairie agate. Prairie agates are the state rock of South Dakota, and they come from the Buffalo Gap grasslands on the western side of South Dakota, the same place that I found most of the other rocks I've featured on this channel. So these rocks are really cool because they feature more fiery sort of bands instead of those ordered bands that you see in traditional agates. They're also technically not agates because they are not translucent and don't let light through as traditional agates do. So that would make these more of a form of chert or jasper. So let's get it wet and take a look at what it looks like when it's wet and why it does that. So when I dunk this rock into the water, you're gonna notice that it changes. And it changes by becoming a lot shinier, a lot brighter, and a lot more vibrant. You can really tell the distinction between those black and the white areas in the bands. And all of this is due to the water changing the refractive light index of the material. The water fills in microscopic pores in the surface of the rock to make the rock seem smoother, and it reflects the light back to our eyes, just in a more appealing way. So that is the reason why we dunk rocks into water, to see what they truly look like. This will give you a good idea what the rocks would look like if they were polished. So in this one, you can really tell that the bands are much more distinct than they were before. And this principle actually is the same thing that makes wood change color when it's wet. So I think that's really fascinating. I think it's really cool that they're the same property in principle, and I just think it's really neat to know why things happen and not just that they do happen. Next, I want to take a look at this petrified wood. This petrified wood has got really nice browns in it, some deep dark browns, some light caramel browns, just a lot of different colors and patterns going on in this rock. And I just know it's going to shine up so much better for you when I dunk it in the water. After I dunk it in the water, you can really see those swirls in that wood grain in that petrified wood. It looks like wood now. It doesn't just look like some brown rock. So I just think it's neat. Let's move on to the next one. So now let's take a look at this brecciated jasper. Breccia is basically these little white dots that are in the jasper, if you don't know what breccia are. So this has some really nice colors, a lot of brecciations all over it, but it doesn't look that vibrant, it doesn't look that awesome. You can't really tell the colors that are inside the rock. So I'm gonna dunk it in the water and we're gonna see how it changes. So now after I do that, you can really tell that there's a lot of red on the top of this rock. There's a lot of red jasper and yellows within that brecciated matrix of jasper. There's also these vugs, crystal vugs, which are just pockets full of crystals in this jasper, which just make it all the more interesting. Let's move on to look at our last rock here. This is a TP Canyon agate from the Black Hills out in South Dakota. And you can tell that it's got a lot going on in there, but you can't really distinguish any of those bands within this yellow part of the agate. So if we get it wet, it'll fill in those microscopic pores, make the rock look a lot smoother, and change the refractive light index to make it much more appealing to our eyes. Now you can see all of these microscopic little bands within the yellow part of that rock. just fascinating. The TP Canyon agates are super, super cool, but they look a lot better when they get wet. Thanks for joining me for this video today, where we looked at how different rocks look when they're wet and dry. So now you know a little bit more about the reasons why rocks look so much better when they're wet. I hope you learned something today in this educational video, and I hope you guys come back and join me next week where we're gonna be cutting some more rocks. So come back, join, make sure you like and subscribe for more content, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye.